Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm David Freak Turley, joined by Rivington Bislin III, aka Rivington III, and we are here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship here in Hanover, Germany at the CeBIT convention. We've got people all around us in front, behind, in the crowd. There's a stage back there as well. We've got a logo on this glass backdrop here. It's wonderful. We've got such great teams. Just today is Group A, tomorrow's Group B. Then we've got quarterfinals, semifinals, grand finals, all that fun stuff up through Saturday, March 10th. This is just day one. We've already had a phenomenal set of matches so far. And up next, by the way, is going to be Millenium versus Team Dignitas. We've not seen Millenium up on stage yet, I don't think. I believe, if I have my information correct, I could be wrong here, is they are 0-2, but they're 0-2 to Against All Authority and Fnatic. And these are two of the teams that have the best records so far in the group. Dignitas, we saw them at the very first game of the day, going 1-0 against CLG, but they did lose a game here to Fnatic, so you don't quite know where these teams are going to go. Any of these teams really do have the chance to qualify.
Yeah, they really do, and as we said before, this Millenium team not really tested on LAN or in a live performance, so we'll have to see if that really comes together, kind of in a Fnatic-esque sort of way, as we said before, Fnatic online, but you bring them to a tournament and you take down 3 of their inhibitors, they're probably going to beat you, kind of thing.
And it happened, right? You've got the clutch steals that came out from Cyanide in that match against Dignitas, and they've kind of been doing this so far, where they seem to have a little bit of a struggle early game and then come back late, but you know what, it's now we've got to talk about what's going on with these teams. You can see Dignitas on camera right here. There's Skara in front. Again, he's the number one ranked player on the North American solo duo queue ladder. This man has been kind of controlling the show so far. He had a 13-4 Cassiopeia game against CLG. Sorry, that was against Fnatic. There you got Locust, a support player, who's been playing really well. I mean, this entire team really from Dignitas has been playing quite successfully. Down there, kind of hidden in that hoodie was I Will Dominate, I believe. I only got a nose there, but I could kind of tell from the skin tone. But, you know, the best I could do. But, of course, you saw them backstage. And both these teams, you know, they're now in a scary spot. Millenium can get through and get all these wins. They still have to fight Alternate, they have to fight CLG. These are games that they can win, of course. Going 3-2 in most cases is enough to win you, get you out of the group. And again, we've seen this before, where a team can go 0-1 in group, 0-2 in group, and still make it out there. That is a possibility. That's something that can happen very much here. And Dignitas, even though they opened up so strong against such a favorite like CLG, have the ability to go either way right here. They still got to fight Against All Authority. They're going to fight Millenium here, which is a scary team. Alternate, we've only seen for one match so far, but you never know, they can go a lot of different ways. Against All Authority, a 3-0 team in the groups. You know, Alternate just kind of got shown up, but that's just AAA being so freaking crazy good right now. You can't count any of these teams out, that even though they might look bad one game and look great another, you got to realize that it's best of one. Anything can happen. Weird strategies show up all the time. Players can make clutch plays that can go anywhere.
Yeah, it is. They're waiting for the guys to create the game. They're getting their chats on, and I believe they are almost ready to come out on stage. We'll have that for you in just a few. As we talk about these teams, you know, Fnatic been playing very strong, Dignitas playing very strong, and like you said, the alternate team not coming in very strong, but can still show in this tournament, and anybody really can. It's really that, as we said before, that capacity of your skill and where it can be at one of these live events, because it is brought down a little bit. The atmosphere really gets to you. The intensity really gets to you, and the crowd around you, you can't really hear too much all the time, so you're making plays off whims and off of your skill within the game. So a lot of these are coming down. These guys are trying to play at their best at 100% with, you know, cameras glaring down their face. So it definitely changed the perspective of things as they come into the games. And, you know, as I said, Dignitas, Fnatic, CLG showing strong today as well. All those teams showing that they're able to do that here. And let's see if, as I said before, Millenium can show on the live event.
Yeah, and I actually want to bring something up about that. Looks like the players are ready, actually, real quick. So let me just go ahead and check and make sure that they're pretty much happy. So if the players are ready, I think, does that mean we're good to go with the stage and have them walk up there? So looks like we're going to go ahead and get these guys up on stage with that whole ceremony. So we'll catch you back at the broadcast booth after this.
And next up, we have Dignitas versus Team Millenium. So let's welcome them back up on stage.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, joined by the players. It is going to be Dignitas versus Millenium, as advertised. Starting off with Kuja, we're going to go to you, because, see, you're a man of many tournaments. This one's not going so well for you guys, though. I mean, is it a case of the team's been pulled together a little late, or just not had much chance practicing, or?
Yeah, well, we started to play with the AP 3 weeks ago, and with the jungle this week, like 6 days ago. So it's not helping, but still we should have won the last game, and we could have won the first. It was just people throw away the game.
Yeah, and speaking of the last game, it was a CLG game, I believe. It looked like, I think it was 16-14 in kills, so it was a very close game.
No, they just went back. We had an early comp. We were winning the game, but then people made mistake, and they just came back, and they had late comp, and with our early comp we can't do anything late.
Okay, and Skara, he's still hurting. He's still hurting from that Fnatic loss. He was seething backstage, I assure you. Anything you'd like to actually tell the public about it? Because it's still burning deep inside you.
I don't want to say anything too bad, but like, we threw that game in the most awful way. I think it's the worst throw we've ever had in competitive gaming, and it hurts. It hurts deep.
It hurts deep. You are 2-1-0, CLG are 2-1-0, Fnatic are 2-1-0. Obviously feel you need to pick up a win. It's going to be a very tight group so far. I mean, how do you feel, the guys, obviously the event going so far, barring the Fnatic, how's the general mindset of the team?
I mean, we came here to prove that we were a top team. I think we've done that pretty well so far. But it looks like we still have a lot of mistakes that people can exploit. We're having a lot of issues with just being able to hear each other, but I mean, that's definitely, we should have prepared more for the event, I guess. Aside from that, there's not much else.
Okay, and we've talked about, obviously, the being on a big stage. It's a huge stage. I mean, how is it for you guys? I mean, is there some new players that have not really been on a big stage? Obviously, you've been a DreamHack and WCG, etc. Is there a couple of guys in your team that have not really been on anything this size?
No, they never have been. It's for others, it's really their first time.
So, which is less than ideal. Which for you guys, obviously, you've been on the big stage. But how do you feel it's going on this big stage? I mean, it is enormous. There's 30 PCs lined up. There's many screens above us. How's it going for you guys on here?
It's way bigger than we expected. Like, we expected to be playing on like a side stage, and we got like the biggest main stage. So like, once this packs up, once we go closer to the weekend, it's going to be a lot of people here. It's going to be really loud. I'm excited, actually.
Yeah, and actually there's a lot of people here even now on the first day, you know, at 9 o'clock watching you guys versus Dignitas. Anyway, anything you guys would like to say to your sponsors or anyone like that before we go to pass over to the casters?
What? Excuse me?
Anything you'd like to say to the fans at home?
To a fan?
I think you have some fans, Kuja.
I love my fans.
How about you, Skara?
Obviously, we'd like to thank our fans for supporting us. Because without fans, like, we wouldn't be where we are right now. And to thank our sponsors like Razer, Intel, Alienware. They've been really good to us, and our organization, Team Dignitas. I'm very happy they picked us up.
Yeah, very nicely said. I think OD's on the front row somewhere. Yeah, watching somewhere. So anyway, we are going to pass over to the casters. I'm just trying to see which ones it is. I can see them waving at me. It looks like freaking Rivington, I believe. So over to you guys.
Hey everybody, welcome back, and yes, we are here.
Indeed.
And so, sorry for the mistake earlier, but apparently Millenium 0-3 so far. They do have a chance to make it through. There is a way to make it out of the group at 2-3. Dignitas 2-1 so far, but you know, there's a couple of unfortunate things here for Millenium. You know, the team has a lot of phenomenal players. Hawkdawn is top 5 on solo queue, who's their AP mid player. Also, you know, you look at some of the things that happened. They had a exceptionally close game against CLG backstage. They were about to be 1-2, which is not the worst score in the world. Yep. And you know, to take out again a team like CLG is pretty good, especially when the only member of your team with any LAN experience at all is Kuja, and he's got a wealth, of course, to be sure.
Right.
But you know, your entire team hasn't really made it to a LAN since this Millenium lineup. You know, the qualification slot went to Millenium, the organization, but their lineup, aside from Kuja, pretty much has changed since they qualified. And so you kind of look at how this happened, and it's And yes, you sort of look at this and you're like, wow, you know, their first LAN ever, almost taking out CLG, who is probably the most veteran team in all of League of Legends. And you know, they're coming through, and when you got a lot of close losses and the chance to still come through and to knock these teams out, you still can't count them out.
No, not at all. And especially, as we said before, we were touching on, you know, being in this experience, being in this atmosphere. And you even heard Skara say, we're having a hard time hearing each other. And that's not just anything of the event, it's the noise of the event. There's a lot of people here, as we said, and there's going to be more and more. So these guys have to buckle down and really bring everything they can out of themselves that plays in a professional level here at the World Championships, because that's why they are in their seats.
Yep. And they're here, you know, of course, to win. That is the goal. And we are getting the players into the game. Spectators are in as well. Me and Riv are here. All of the Dignitas are in this on the blue team. They're going to be first pick, first ban. Millenium have 3 of their roster in so far. We're going to be getting the rest of this underway, now up to 4. And we'll be having this game. And again, this does matter a whole lot for both players. Even if Millenium can't necessarily make it out, you know, 2 and 3, you have a chance to qualify, but it's not an auto-qualify. Dignitas needs to get as many wins as possible. They still have to fight against all authority, and they still have to, let's see, at that point, that would be the last match of the day. This is both teams' forced match, and Dignitas, they specifically need wins here, or they're going to be in really big trouble. Millenium, exactly the same way, can get themselves in a really tricky situation, and they can make it out if they do get a couple of wins here.
What kind of play are you expecting from Dignitas and after Millenium as well?
Well, you know, I think Corki's going to be a big one here. He's actually been contested on both sides. Both these teams do pick up a lot of Corki. Now, we've seen Jana still in every game so far. To the best of my knowledge, Jana's been repeatedly picked. But Corki's one that QtPie has been playing almost repeatedly every single time. I don't know what happened backstage, but I think he's had Corki in both the games I've seen on the stream. And Millenium, they like Corki as well. We're going to see how that pans out. And there's all sorts of interesting things. If you know, what if they get in a situation like with against All 30 versus Fnatic, where you know Soaz is not known as a Shen player, but oh, Shen's here, I guess we're going to pick him. You know, are you going to have that kind of thing as well? It looks like Boy in love with Lee Sin right now for this tournament. He's gotten him at least once, and I think actually a couple of times throughout this tournament between backstage games and whatnot. But you know, you've got a lot of different you know, possibilities here where maybe you've got to pick a champion you're not quite comfortable with because it fits for your team, and you've got to make these split-second decisions. It can kind of go both ways there, so you don't quite know just how it's going to pan out. But as for specific strategies, you know, I really do think that we have, for example, you know, the Ryze that was banned out in that very first game of the day. Ryze, a very common mage pick there. You've got Skara had shown us some Mordekaiser, and then Cassiopeia in the game against Fnatic. And actually a phenomenal Cassiopeia game. I think a Cassiopeia ban would not be that uncommon. There's a lot of choices.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they can pull out. There's so many things to be counterplayed here against this team, and you know, as I was saying, against for Dignitas, and that play it could be so structured for them in the beginning. They don't have to do too much, and they really have a solid gameplay with their team. Millenium can do the same, but if things are to falter without such a cohesive team, that really breaks down the morale a lot more. You kind of base things off somebody else's fault a little bit more, and it starts to really degrade the amount of morale your team has going into the game. So Dignitas could definitely just play a strong mental game in this one and come out on top, I believe.
Yeah, and we're going to see, you know, and it is going to be a mental game. You're right. They're going to have to be able to sort of say, look, we need to play to win. We can't be too afraid, and it is going to be all about them, you know, trying to take control and sort of showing and building up confidence. Because again, if we just follow the story of Dignitas, right? They start out with a win. Next game was a game throw. The third game they won against, I believe, Alternate. And then, you know, they've got to come against a Millenium who are 0-3, but it's up to them to not get demoralized. And they do have the chance again that, you know, and they're a big question mark because again they've not been really land proven, but they've got a lot of skill there in those players. They have the chance to take down any of these teams. They almost took down, you know, one of these Leviathans like Counter Logic Gaming. Such a, you know, very close match there. You've got Dignitas with the ability to throw it against Fnatic. Yeah. Like you've got a giant question mark here, and it is up to these teams to play the best that they very much can. And you don't know quite what's up there, but we do have both teams. Their full rosters are in this game. We are ready up in here, and as long as the players are ready to go, then we will have this game underway for you guys in, I believe, the 4th round of the group stage of Group A. In just the very first day of these these matches.
Yeah, and so many amazing matches too. The back and forth, like Dignitas said, you know, the kind of their throw game was one of the best ones for us to watch. Though it doesn't make them happy, but all the fans were like,
"Oh man,
what's happening?" You know, just right in it the entire time. They're gone.
All nails gone. Yeah,
they're gone.
Nails
they're
completely gone. But anyway, apparently we're waiting for them to put up a banner between these teams. I believe these two teams are sitting next to each other on the stage. So that's one of the things that happens with these real life tournaments and with the noise and everything that we've been talking about, is that they're all up on the stage. If you come over here to Siebert in Hanover, Germany, here through Saturday, you can come up and watch these guys play on the stage right behind us. You can actually come up talk to us as well, though not when we're on camera, please. We are going to be casting, but yeah, you can come up and watch these guys play in person, and if you have to be next to each other, then they're going to put up a little divider so you can't look over and figure out, oh, you're at Baron, cool, right? So we're getting rid of that one, and then after that, you know, we're good to go. And these guys did say that they were ready, so we should be underway pretty soon once they've got that up there. And you actually might be able to see behind us how that progress is going. So you know, you might actually know as well as we do when that's going to start.
Haydale saying, "You calling me a cheater? I'm not a cheater." Haydale probably the one on the end computer. So they're going to get that all set up. This will be nice. It looks like we are ready to go. And we will be getting this match underway for picks and bans. Dignitas versus Millenium here. IEM World Championships, as we said, Game 4 here in the group stage of Day 1. And we're going to see your Game 4, at least, that we're showing. There have been a lot more than 4 games.
There have been a lot more. And here we go. The Ram is banned again from Dignitas. They've actually dropped that one every time. And I think they're doing that. I'm trying to think of the logical ways to do that. So it's either because they want an unsafe, like, you know, guy that doesn't want to get ganked a whole lot in mid, like Karthus, where they just want to get to late game, and so Ramus ban is good for that. Or maybe it's because I Will Dominate doesn't practice that guy, because, you know, Ramus is a big, scary dude. Like, it's a first pick worthy jungler.
That's early gank time.
Yeah,
right there.
It's a lot of early ganks all the time. So there's the Ryze ban. This time Millennium's handing that one out. They don't want Skara playing that one. Ryze definitely a scary guy. And again, they're banning out Karthus here. So Dignitas, you know, tossing out a lot of bans of champions that are very first pick worthy, so I think they have kind of a strategy in mind. They're not saying, oh, let's leave options open. They're saying, we know what we want to pick. We're going to deny some stuff from you guys that might be pretty good against us. So
you know, not a lot of the things you've been noticing lately where people aren't really flashing until the last second, you could totally do that still with Karthus. That's the reason to ban out Karthus, because you don't want to have to blow that summoner spell if you don't have to. If you can get out and just back, that's the way to do it. But with Karthus there, you can't do that. So every gank becomes that much more detrimental, and you got to be really careful.
Yeah, and we saw that a little bit with Fnatic, where they went for the sort of the double global team, where they had the Nocturne plus the Twisted Fate. We had that again also with Shen from Against All Authority. We've got these guys who can, like, create significant combat advantages from anywhere on the map, and that's what Karthus does. There's a Morgana ban out as well. And the thing is, these are all champions that Skara can play quite well, especially, well, I mean, not the Ramus so much. AP Ramus, not exactly common in competitive play, but Morgana and Karthus, both champions he does play well. And we've actually seen, you know, a lot of champions kind of rise and fall in popularity. We might see him get the fast Cassiopeia. We saw that against Fnatic, and it worked well. You might see the Mordekaiser come back out, but also Zillion is a champion that used to be this highly contended pick for these teams, and there is the Cassiopeia ban. So will it be another first pick Janna? It will be another first pick Janna, so this is really a common trend here.
No, she's one of the best supports for displacing an entire team in a fight, stopping the fight, stopping ults in a fight, throwing people off their guard, pushing them over walls, and totally displacing them from even getting back in. So it's pretty much like, if you needed to be a flash for your team, if you needed to be a flash against the other team, you know what I mean? Just like, bye. You know, so it's such an amazing ultimate to have, plus heal, and then her ability to stop a team fight. Tornado.
Yep, and there's actually one of the first times we're seeing Sona. If they do lock that one in, they are going to grab Sona this time around. Normally we saw Nunu as one of the most common supports against Janna.
Yeah, besides Janna, like the considered real supports, have we seen any other besides now this Sona?
I mean, I don't remember a Soraka, I don't remember a Taric, but we might have seen, they might have been there in the off-screen games, of course.
Oh, we did have an Alistar that first game. Yep, Alistar Blitz.
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of different things actually come out. Aside from Janna, everything else has been getting a pretty good healthy rotation here. A lot of different things have been grabbed here. QTPie just kind of scrolling through all the different picks. I got to expect it to be Corki, though. He's been grabbing it every time so far, and I don't expect that to change. And the thing is, they don't have any information about the enemy team, so you can't really pick a tricky AD. I mean, maybe you go Misfortune and just choose to be a bully. but they still got a lot of things going on. I like the Maokai choice. That is going to be Maokai. I like that a lot, and that is going to be the Corki, of course, there. Just every single time. I think that's 3 times I've seen Corki now from Cutie Pie, but I really, really like that Maokai choice. We're going to see how that stacks up against Shyvana. Now, Ahri is interesting because we've seen Millenium likes playing AD Ahri. That hasn't been played before, so we might see that go different ways. And so, no, they're going to lock in Graves. Now, that could be Bruiser top Graves. We've seen that before in general. And we could see that be, of course, standard AD Graves. Of course, we could see standard Mage Ahri. And Ahri's actually a pretty safe mid choice as well, and that is going to be that. So, Sona Graves, very, very aggressive. Janna Corki, we're going to see how that lane matches up. And we're going to see what they're going to choose against Ahri. It's their time to pick their solo mid. It's their time to pick top as well. Oh, Mordekaiser might be coming back, and that could be very interesting.
Wow.
I'm expecting a little bit of Aurelia here from Voyboy. That's going to be my blind guess here, is when you have to pick into nothing, it's Aurelia.
I don't know, what do you think? Locust switch to jungle. Oh, wow.
Right. Or Lee Sin, of course.
Right. Lee
Sin
up top.
Yeah?
So that's going to be great for him. I mean, he was able to go against Kennen, like, straight off the bat.
Yep.
Far more CS out of it than Kennen. I think it was Shushei, actually. And we will have to see what they can do for their last pick. Looks like Hammer does have that last counter. What will he decide to do? And if we do see that AD Ahri.
And again, one of the good things about this is you've already revealed that mid choice. Mid is probably the most susceptible to counterpick in League of Legends right now, at least in what these teams are playing. And they're just going to let that Mordekaiser just sink in as the timer runs out. And that is going to be the full lineup here. A little bit similar to the first games we've seen. Corki, Lee Sin, Mordekaiser, and Janna, all pretty. We've seen them all at least once before from Dignitas. Maokai I have not seen from them before. But their ability to control a team fight, they've got 2 giant AoE support spells between the Maokai ult and the Janna ult. It's going to be hard for Millenium to really force kills here, unless they get an amazing Ahri charm into, giant AoE stun from Sona. And we might actually see Udyr come out here. And now Udyr and Shyvana can, of course, switch places. Either one can jungle, either one can solo top.
Right.
And we're going to see which one they'd rather have jungle, which one they'd rather have fight against Lee Sin. And you don't quite know what that's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be jungle Shyvana. She's been more common there, but you never quite know. And we're seeing that...
there's a switch.
I mean, there's a couple of switches coming around here. Looks like Skara, going to be on that Mordekaiser. So we're kind of waiting for the switches to go out right now. They've got Graves with Smite, which is unlikely. But actually, they just switched Udyr into the jungle spot. I mean, it could be right now if they don't swap anymore. Solo top Shyvana jungle Udyr, which is interesting. That's not all that typical, but Udyr is a much better ganker than Shyvana. But Udyr's also
I thought they would switch that because Udyr is way better sustained for a lane.
That's true, and fighting someone like Lee Sin can kind of wreck a Shyvana, so that does make sense.
He has a really good damage trade. He can come in with a Q shield and walk himself out while slowing your attack. Maybe you get 1 or 2 off. So that's a way better combination of Udyr versus Lee Sin tops for both teams.
No, they swapped it back. I guess they're not quite sure, or they're still maybe making decisions about this. Because one thing that happened, if you look back at Dignitas for CLG, is CLG brought double exhaust. Although the jungler was Mudu, who's not the best in CCing a guy, still could bring in cleavers and exhaust and get those kills. And Skara got shut down early on because of that. And this time they're saying we're going to bring Udyr, who brings a lot of crowd control, a lot of damage. I have a stun. I'll probably have red buff. I run really fast. In most cases, a better ganker than Dr. Mundo, just isn't bringing exhaust this time, but can still shut down that Mordekaiser. And I do like that choice. I think that makes a lot of sense here. So we're going to see kind of how that pans out. There's a lot of interesting choices there that are available. We're going to see if they can actually shut that down. Their solo mid is Ahri, and Ahri can put out a lot of damage against Mordekaiser. He's going to be in range for Foxfire. She can land that Q both ways. Once those minions clear out of the way, can land Charm and then again lock him up. It's entirely possible.
And that true damage will eat through.
I mean, it'll eat through a resistance stack. Mordekaiser's his W, his sort of AoE shield guy, does give resist, so that's going to get melted away with the true damage on the way back from that orb. It does make sense there. So it's kind of interesting to see how this pans out. So yes, the lineup is going to be Skara on Mordekaiser, Locust supporting on Janna, Corki up in the AD. I'll give you the rest of the roster as we come back into the game, though. But going to be back in just a second. We'll see you guys real soon.
As we were saying, these teams, as they get set up and lined up in the jungle, we do have Udyr. That is Herkbot. That's going to be Enigms on Udyr for your Millenium team. Kuja on support with Sona. Hawkdawn as your AP mid. They are going to keep that Ahri mid. Haydale on Shyvana. That's going to be a top Shyvana as they were switching back and forth between Enigms and Haydale for that top and jungle position. And we have Hammer playing that grave spot down bottom. We'll have to see. It looks like it's going to be jungle blade for both sides, but they're going opposite right now. They do see dominate, so this is pretty much going to nullify everything that's happening right here. They see each other. Nobody's really going to go in blindly, so they know there's a bit of an invasion. What do they do about it now?
Yep, absolutely. And that's one of the really smart things to do is once you know these champions well, one thing that's common for a Maokai is at about minute 5 to toss down some of these saplings at this Wraith camp here. And then you kind of let them blow up and you get pretty much an instant clear on the Wraith camp. That's, you know, a lot of free experience in gold and you run out to the blue and you're fine. And of course, Millenium knows that that's a very common thing for Maokai. So it's smart of them to run in there, blow up the saplings, take control of that, and then they're fine. So as you call it the Millenium lineup, we've got Dignitas over here, Skara, solo mid on Mordekaiser. Here we've got Locust and support on to Janna. I mean, Cutie Pie playing Corki, that second duo bot champion. We've got that jungler, I Will Dominate, going to be playing on that Maokai. You can see the sapling spam still coming out here. And actually Lee Sin lending a little shield as well. Some good damage output, and that's going to be the clear on this Wolf camp. And as we just saw Voyboy, as we said, Lee Sin loading shield first just to help with the jungling. And here we go, they're going to pick up this golem buff. Meanwhile, you can see over here the Udyr for Millenium helping that out. That's going to be a really quick blue buff picked up. And he'll be happy to grab that. And there you go. Okay. Oh, he's actually saving the smite. He hasn't actually used his smite yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's going down pretty low. He has not used his smite, so maybe to go around the jungle, help himself out a little bit more.
Maybe he's going to go grab red, get level 3 and gank with that. And now he's going down to Wraith, then he'll, yeah, I think he's going to just save his smite for red.
That's a great ward, though, they put down early. They know he's going for that. They don't know he has smite still, but they do know he is going. 2 wards will tell them that both junglers are doing Wraith. So well done by both teams there to keep vision on what's going on inside the enemy jungle. Looks like both reds now being gone for, so no real take back on either jungle. They're kind of equal at this point.
Yep, although Udyr, I think, will clear a bit faster. He tends to just DPS these kind of camps much more quickly. You can see the saplings come out, and yeah, he's going to be pretty happy to smite that. There we go, level 3, and we'll see if he goes for a quick gank here. Now he's going for the golems. I guess he doesn't fancy his chances ganking just yet, so he's going to leave that as it is. And looks like a lot of aggression here on Cutie Pie. Wow, down to about 150 health. He's not going to be happy with this.
Kuja playing it very smart with the ward in the bush, and there it is. Locust putting one in as well. Kuja's not going to be able to get those power cords off as easily. Goes ahead and just brings himself out of the bush because it's not going to do him any good to hide in it. It's a very good strategy to do, especially for the support. You can get yourself out of a gank faster, and you don't know your full position in that bush as the ganker's coming out. So as the support, it's always good to just stay in the bush, come out, pop out a little bit of damage, and jump back in.
Yeah, but let's see. So by the way, Cutie Pie actually has gone Corki all 3 games so far. I just got an update about the off-screen game. So he's played Corki every single time so far, and he's been going, by the way, actually their bottom lane has been aggressive every single time. They've been bringing Exhaust and or Ignite every single time. You look at the sort of setup here, and Loga's not even with Flash, just going Exhaust heal, and Cutie Pie actually bringing Ignite, so they're just all about that aggressive play and getting these kills early on with a lot of aggressive summoner spells, and we're going to see if this trend keeps up for them, if they can win this game, and win that lane, rather.
3 times a Corki, 3 times a Doran.
Yep, 3 times the Doran Blade, always going 3x Doran, always going into the Black Cleaver as well, so you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So far, they've been okay with it.
Looks like Dominate looking to get a little hungry top here. He does have both buffs just about wearing out on that blue buff, so he could make something happen here. And it looks like Shyvana is pushed up quite far into that bush, but they don't want anything, and she is going to just back as her lane is quite pushed. And back down to bottom lane, still just a lot of aggression coming out. They're trying to push that wave into the turret. Both of them pretty much full health on Millenium's side. A great power cord coming out. Down to 100 HP on I'm a Cutie Pie, and he's going to have to be very careful here.
Yep, he is going to recall. Looks like he's out of health potions for the most part. So already actually burned through all 3 health potions. Locust had been using shields throughout that, and it just was not enough. Locust actually not even a single persistent item in his opening build, all wards and potions. So Millenium actually looking amazing in their bottom lane so far. And you can actually look at the gold equalized, but of course with Corki forced to recall, that's going to actually that advantage is going to start growing pretty soon.
Yeah, wow, that's, you know, he noticed that Locust playing a pure support, not even boots, as you said.
Ooh, aggression, hold on, onto this Mordekaiser in mid. Skara forced to flash out. Looks like he did make it just barely, but minus flash, not the easiest thing in the world to deal with.
So we're going to have to see if Skara plays carefully now, because when St. Vicious did this the first time in mid, they did pop his flash because they had the Urgot and they got the exhaust down. But Skara still played very aggressive, and just no more than a minute 30 later, they came back with the kill on him because he didn't have flash. So we'll have to see if he takes that in consideration this time, plays a little bit safer in mid.
And also the interesting thing, though, is you know, again, you look at the EU teams, they've been running clairvoyance all the time about bot lane. I really, you know, I want to kind of stress the bot lane story in this game, because it's been kind of the most action-packed. We kind of see that, you know, okay, mid had that gank with Udyr, but top lane you can see they're all at full health and being pretty safe here. No one's getting killed. So the bot lane, you know, you're seeing Huja run flash CV, right? It's all about the utility, all about helping the team out and making the rest of the team work. Whereas Dignitas is all about the aggressive combat summoners, except for that one flash and Corki. Every single one of them is a fight summoner spell, and yet you've already seen the beginning of that game was basically a sort of a victory there for Millenium. They've already made Corki recall once. So we'll see if they can keep that up despite the summoner spell sort of disadvantage.
Looks like Skara toying with Enigmas in the jungle right now. He will take that big Wraith from him. Nice 35 gold for himself. Sona warding up towards Wraiths, but that was a very nice job. Skara doing the exact same thing as they now see Maokai trying to move through those Wraiths. Shyvana returning to top lane. It looks like everybody just really milling about until someone steps out of place. Nobody really wants to initiate anything yet. We're 7 minutes into this match.
Hold on, a lot of fighting actually going on at top lane. Both players going down about half health. Voyboy basically full tanked a Shyvana W. They're still going for it, actually. The E goes off. Voyboy just really going for the damage output here, and he's got to be a little bit afraid because now he's starting to run out of health potions, and Shyvana, you know, being a scary guy, so does have more items here. Actually, Voyboy getting very, very low. He's got to be careful. Has to kick her back. The Ignite did go off, and Voyboy going to have to now get back beneath his turret and heal up down to only about 200 health.
You know, it's a great fight between Lee Sin and Shyvana, but as soon as she turns on Burnout, there's really no way to trade that amount of damage.
Yeah, Burnout hits really, really hard, and that's getting leveled pretty quickly here. Looks like Hakdon going to be getting this blue buff thanks to Udyr. Going to be happy about that. Now, the one advantage here for Dignitas is Mordekaiser does not need that, so I Will Dominate can keep holding on to that and use that cooldown reduction to his advantage in order to clear these camps quickly and in order to just be a good team fight helper.
Looks like bottom lane has kind of switched up their strategy. I'm a Cutie Pie using a lot more phosphorus to farm now, and you can see how far it has pushed the lane up. They're kind of trying and shove this into the tower. Now, Gray's a pretty good tower last hitter as well. His Q is huge, and he can slow or hit up the minions with the W as well and keep him back a little bit and not into the turret. So we'll have to see. He's just equaling out his lane there. We have Udyr going through the jungle. Looks like Maokai grabbing that second blue. We'll see that again up at 13 minutes for about both junglers. And looks like Udyr may be forcing something mid here.
Yeah, they're going to jump in. Already jumping in onto Skara, getting him down to about 1/3 health. Going to pop in the... Oh my gosh, going to burst for it, but no! So much burst coming back. Will they get the... Yes, it's going to trade back, but first blood going to Ahri is the better sort of thing there. Excellent job there by Ahri, just going in for it, landing all the spells one more time.
Yeah, you thought it was over, and it was just an explosion.
Yeah, seriously. On both sides, too, though. The burst from Skara was pretty massive. Is winning by 3 minions, but the kill trade pretty much equalizes that one.
Haydale and Voyboy going at it as soon as they get back to lane. One goes for a creep, the other one goes for a creep, and then it's an all-out fight back and forth every time. Fantastic top lane so far from both of those players. It looks like the turret has been pushed back again. Wow, about 10% health, 275 HP on that bottom turret. That's going to be 150 gold if Millenium can get that, and that will definitely give them a very nice early game lead if they need to finish some items.
Yeah, but you can see the gold advantage actually 700 up right now for Dignitas, despite kills going on equal sides. Next to the first blood gold was plus 100 going in Millenium's favor.
Yep.
They're still managing to out-minion farm by the other basically 1,000. So that's pretty impressive there from Dignitas. I think that bot lane, you see 64 minions versus 70. No, despite, again, those combat summoners, this Graves just still out-farming this Corki from I'm a Cutie Pie. So I got to hand it to them there. But now Voyboy got to be a little bit afraid of Haydale, and you're going to see he's going to jump in onto a minion and just keep going for this tower pressure, but it's got to be the top lane. It's the only place
he had a lot of caster minions, but what he's doing is really great. He's forcing Shyvana to burn out right on his minions, so even if he can kind of get his lane pushed almost every time.
Oh, I see. That makes a lot of sense. I like that. It's a pretty cool move. But yeah, you look at the minion advantage, and it's 79-51 between Lee Sin and Shyvana. So Voyboy is pretty much the entire reason that his team is winning in gold.
It looks like we do have Dominate trying to creep up here, but they're not going to clear these waves. They're just going to wait for Graves to come in here. A very good position. There are no wards in that bush, so we'll have to see if they can capitalize on this back on top.
Flash for it.
And looks like Lee Sin returning to his lane. They do see Udyr for the gank on both sides. Scar's like, I'm getting pinched. I'm not going to mid.
Yeah, but he actually keeps putting the little W shield on a minion in front that keeps him basically at full shield the entire time. They can kind of run in and AoE it down and then sort of get his gold back, and it works out for him, actually. I kind of like that move.
Yeah, it looks like Mordecai, or rather Dominate, was forced to go back into his jungle. Didn't want to lose too much XP from hanging out in that lane, not getting any kills or his own minions. And it looks like we do have a little bit of an evasion here by Enigms. He is going to start heading in. No, maybe. Looking for wards, waiting for wards.
He's got the oracles. I think he might be timing red. That doesn't make any sense. No, I think that's not even the right timer for red. Red's actually already on I Will Dominate. Or he's waiting for like a Wraith respawn. Like, I'm not sure what he's waiting for exactly. He could steal the Wraith away, which is not bad. It would deny that from Mordekaiser, which is probably a good thing to do.
That is very good, because a lot of times now you'll see that mid AP come around, take the Wraiths, doesn't hurt the jungler, they just come back in time, but that's the extra CS, and it looks like Scar playing very aggressive there.
Coming in from behind, yeah, Scar's not going to be in the best shape, but manages to make it out in time. Hawkdon's going to kind of chill. Getting a little bit low on mana, wants the blue when it respawns, which will be in about a minute, so he's got some time without mana right now.
Wow. For as much damage as Voyboy takes while he's in lane with Shyvana, he is up about 30 CS right now, doing a very good job. And you saw he wasn't even in his lane there, almost helped Mordekaiser, was kind of milling about in the jungle, and he has time to do that. He knows Shyvana isn't going to be able to farm that many minions, since minions spawn every 30 seconds in waves. So he can really play that to his advantage just on the time of the game, knowing what's going on around the map as well.
Yep, in the bot lane, we did see a little bit of a skirmish there, but Hanover running pretty low on mana means that they're not too afraid of that. I believe he's actually if I could be wrong here, but I think he's the one non-French player on Millenium. He's Portuguese. Well, he's doing a really good job so far. 97 minions, highest on his teams. They've got to be happy how they pick up. Oh, here comes I Will Dominate. Does land the root, and Hanover's not going to be in a happy place. A perfect Sona ultimate. They might pick up the kill on Graves, but still, they're getting kind of low. Looks like they're going to be okay, though. That Maokai ult absorbs so much damage that they're all right with that one. So
yeah, that was a really great ulti. And then you always want to flash away from Maokai, but he follows you.
And he catches up to you.
He follows you, and that's exactly what happened. And that was really the best person to be tanking in that situation under the turret. So worked out really well for them in that. Dignitas pushing down for another kill. Now 2-1 here, 13 minutes into the game. 16,000 gold to 14,000. The lane's really not won by any means yet. Bottom lane has kind of been taken quite hard by Millenium. They do have Dignitas' turret down to 275 HP, so that lane, if any, would be the win, but the game is very even at this point.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't gone back to push that turret down. It's a good way, I think, to get yourself a dragon, is you say, look, we've got Graves, he's a really good pusher, Sona could do the same. Let's just AoE some minions down, take the turret, shove the wave one more time, and then make a stab for dragon. Now, either you leave your carry there to farm it and you actually pick up those 12 or 18 minions, or you give up that entire wave to stop us to stop us at dragon. And I think that would work pretty well as sort of a team objective.
Oh, wow,
standpoint.
Hammer getting dove on. Does Corki take so much? No, he does not. Only 2 shots, but he's able to pick up the kill there. Didn't expect that to come in.
Sorry about that, yeah.
No, it's kind of like watching Ari earlier. I would have called it earlier, but then he just Valkyried at the last second, was like under the turret.
Oh, wow.
Not something you expect him to do, especially with that much health. So amazing, or great kill down bottom. Hammer goes down again, so he's been denied lane experience for about the past 40 seconds.
Yep, and finally Corki now winning in minion kills, and when you're a 2-0 Corki with 10 minions on someone, yeah, you're probably going to start winning in gold by a lot. And Corki has an amazingly good late game, and so finally that summoner spell advantage kicking in. The ignite used earlier on the prior dive, and of course when you ignite against summoner heal, you pretty much chop that heal in half, and then the damage of course ticks up and pretty much nullifies heal at entirely. So working out pretty well for him.
Very nice job by Skara, highest farm in the game right now, 131, doing a good job. 3 of his teammates over 100 right now, but 99s and 99s, 2 of those on the other team. So everybody's farming quite well this game with Skara on top. Vale, there it is, coming in with Maokai. She should be able to get out. She did use her ulti, but she had a few dashes left. Great job by Hawkdon to leave himself an escape as well. And it looks like you're kind of converging on mid here. This could lead up to the first dragon of the game. Everybody's kind of milling about, but they're really focusing on that dragon. It looks like it's going to be contested here.
Yep, they pink warded it. Yeah, so they did see that Kuja came around to the other side. You got the Oracles on Dominic, who's actually cleared all these wards out for the most part. You see Dignitas' vision pretty good. They see where most of these champions are. They did see Shyvana top early. They see her on the turret now, and there's the ping. They do know this is there. They've got that ward covered. So we'll see if these teams can converge. Shyvana's going to trade for a turret most likely, and here comes the pressure. Locust and Cutie Pie are there, all 5 strong. It looks like they're not going to go for anything else. Udyr and Ari are going to go up top and maybe go for a second turret as well. They got Shyvana getting enough damage there, and they're just jumping through the jungle. Oh my gosh, they're going to catch Voyboy.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's hilarious. They catch him on the way back to lane, and look at Voyboy. Down to half health already. Now, can he make it out? He will W. No, he's going to W to himself and just be fine, but wow, that was actually a really cute move. They ran over to where Voyboy would go back to lane. If only they had more damage, they would have killed him too. That was all kinds of interesting.
Oh, wow. Skara so far up. I believe his flash is back, though, so it looks like he's going to try to waltz out of this one. Can he dodge the charm? The charm comes in. He's going to get bear stance. Udyr able to stun as well as give himself a little bit of speed and get back into the situation. I will dominate, taking a lot of damage, but he should be able to make it out of this one alive. Oh, there's Ari. Never mind. Ari coming in with huge burst damage from top to bottom, and we do see I Will Dominate fall now 3-2. A very nice pickup there by Millenium.
And that's blue buff just grabbed by Ari. I believe I Will Dominate had it last time, where he got it from his own jungle. So now oh my gosh,
taking him back.
Wow, so Voyboy jumping in pretty aggressively, and out bot lane though, a double kill picked up by Cutie Pie at the same time. They just ran in there, and that again, those combat summoners, Ignite, Exhaust, both were used there. And those will counteract heal plus nothing. So excellent job there by Dignitas. That summoner heal not quite up for Hammer. So that did hurt him quite a bit. Now this Corki.
Wow, yeah, look at that. So bottom lane is actually keeping their lanes to farm. They could have taken that turret quite easily, but they're actually leaving their laning phase because he just wants more out of it.
I mean, it's working because, you know,
really
it's so much harder for the team to come in and group up and defend that. We're like, all right, we'll just kind of keep it here. We'll freeze it because we're winning in lane. Let's make this last as long as possible. This is where our advantage is going to come through.
Right. If you're not seeing that your team needs you in another spot, then do what you got to do. And that first dragon also going to them, so they're able to capitalize off of that. They don't really need that turret gold. And really, they lost one top, so it was kind of a good trade there. It's only 40 extra gold for everybody, so it was a little bit even.
Yeah, I see it. So Udyr going to camp bottom, though. He has already ward swept. And here comes Jana Corki. And Sona's coming by as well. There's the ward, though. They know he's there. Now, can he jump in? The Black Cleaver already completed. Cutie Pie taking some damage. Looks like the Jana knockup plus the Valkyrie is enough to get them safe, though.
Oh. I was looking for the crescendo, but it is down.
Yeah, I think they used that to try to survive the last fight, and it didn't work out for him. But now the Summoner heal is up at bot lanes, and the crescendo will be up before Monsoon's already up. But yeah, this could be interesting once Crescendo does get up, is that they'll have a team fight advantage. Oh my gosh, pressure in mid lane. Not looking good for this Mordekaiser. Oh, the ult comes out. The burst is huge. Can they pick up Hawkdawn in time? That's going to be close. Yes, that will get dropped down. Of course, Mordekaiser already dead. Dominate not in a great place, but Lee Sin coming in to help. And oh my gosh, Udyr taking a crap ton of damage. Might drop to Maokai, but the shield is giving him some TPS. And no, he will pick that one up. Wow, picking those. 2-1. Scar pretty much baiting the team into bad fights.
Yeah, he got kicked out of that one, and then they were positioning themselves on the backs or on the turret side instead of on their turret side, so they just got kicked right into it. It really worked out well. Dignitas formulating on that position quite quickly.
And then there's a kill at bottom lane. Again, just jumping on a Sona. The burst comes out from Graves, but it's just not quite enough. Cutie Pie and Locust are at half health, and they're like,
Graves.
Okay, here comes a Lee Sin. Hammer might know about it. Voyboy's going to keep chasing down. Can he land the Q? He will land the Q. There's the E slow as well. Now, can he do enough damage? I kind of feel like he won't be able to dive this too well, but he's just going for it.
I don't know. He doesn't have enough to dash. Oh.
All right, they're going to leave that one alone. Dragon's going to be up in about a minute and a half. 21:45 is the timer there.
Oh, Locust.
I think they'll be okay, but if they can land some kind of good CC here, that could be scary. Cutie Pie did get low. Summoner heal was burned. They're still chasing this one down. Ari's going to dash in. Can she get a CC out? Oh, misses the charm. That would have been huge. And they're going to jump back in here as Maokai is joined in. Ari getting low. Locust does ult. Gets some nice healing there. Hawkdawn does fall. That Lee Sin ultimate. And now Skara will try to get the chase on. Oh, Resonating Strike almost lands. Or Sonic Wave, rather. Resonating Strike's the second part. 2 minutes of Dragon. They're going to steal this blue right here. Voyboy wearing the first one. Skara getting hurt pretty badly, but gets a lot of shields all at once from Lee Sin and Jana. He will not be falling. Now Haydal not in a great place anymore, taking a lot of pain. Will he fall to the ults? Here comes some more pressure in from Maokai, and that will be a kill picked up there. Voidboy now on a spree. Hammer not in a great place either. Will flash over the wall. A good, well-timed flash. Udyr face tanks that Q from Lee Sin, and they're going to go for the blue once more. They should get this one pretty much for free at this point.
Dignitas doing a very nice job of, I guess, like the champions they have as well, but going back in when the cooldowns are down. Just knowing that they have low health, but they're still going in with power and numbers. They're able to take the fight, push it into their advantage, and then once you have a team on the run, that's the best position to have them in, because they're breaking vision every so often, and they're losing their own teammates. So when you can separate them like that, that's exactly when you have them where you want them, and they were doing a very good job of that. We saw Janna tank, or what is it, Kuja tank 2 turret shots, or Locust, sorry, and then come back into the fight after just using a potion. You know, these guys are playing their health levels very well, and against the cooldowns of the Millenium, rather.
And they've now given the red buff over to Graves, who's going to be a little bit more of a crowd control threat. He's going to be putting out some pretty good damage, too. Whenever he hits someone, he's going to put a pretty hefty dot onto them and a slow. He's going to like that quite a bit. Scar, 190 minions, just trying to fight Hawkdown, but it's not going that well. But Dominate, popping Shirelia's Hawkdown's like, no. I'm getting out of this one, thank you very much. Now at the bot lane, another fight going off here. Corki looking to fight Hammer, and he's taking a lot of pain. The turret goes down to minions, and that is going to be a dead Graves. He tries to run down, but there's nothing but minions and pain that way.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough lane, especially for Graves.
Hawkdown getting caught again. He's going to have to flash over the wall to get away from that one. Scar could have bursted him, but was charmed instead.
A lot of 1 kills going down in favor of Dignitas right now. We have 6 on Corki. Great job there by Cutie-Pie. 3 for Voidboy. So these guys are doing very well at just kind of trading everything off. The assists are off the wall right now for these guys. Janna has 8, playing a perfect game. Great job by Locust. So very good control of the map so far. They are up by 9,000 gold at this point. It's 11-3, 22 minutes into the game. Looks like that dragon will be taken, so we'll have a 28-minute dragon.
Yeah.
And we'll have to see what they can do. As that 28-minute mark comes around, it could be a turning point. It could be time for Baron, and we will have to see.
Let me see Voidboy pushing towards the top of the map. Will he go for the turret pressure? He will, but this is scary because no one is actually seen on the... No, okay, he sees pretty much everyone. He knows he's safe from Hyde at this point. He goes W's to a minion, EE, and Peace Dog. I'm going to be safe here. Playing with a lot of confidence is Voidboy. It's working out for him. He's got a frozen mallet. He's got a heart of gold. He's a scary guy.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. He was trying to blind guess that. Yeah. That was a nice move.
So we see Corki moving in, and he is going to see Enigmas. Oh,
yeah, man. Going to run him away.
Yep. Definitely out of that one. Don't want to mess with Corki and red buff. He actually has had that for quite a while. Probably picked... Oh, he doesn't even picked up another one. Maybe grabbed it off of somebody. It looks like they are contesting Baron, at least the wards. I don't see... There's the Vision ward. They don't have an Oracles yet, but great place by Locust there. Able to see that back ward, and he's going to go ahead and take it out. No vision for them on Baron, and it's going to be
Dominate
a 2v2
getting jumped on in mid. Actually, this is very scary for him. He might drop down to Ari. The Ignite is ticking, and he will get that kill there. Hawkdown just barely picking that one up. The last tick of Ignite was there. John pops the shield into Scar, and he's safe. And Scar's got an interesting build, actually, rushing now for an Abyssal Scepter as well. So just getting rid of that magic resist, trying to get the wins that way. Interesting.
Nice little combo there on Cutie-Pie and Voidboy. Able to do what they can to try and take that top turret down, but they do reinforce it with 3, and it looks like they are going to try to go for this. But wait, moving in, they find a third. They did not think Graves was there, and that was the worst time to go back in the fight. They both decided it was all right, but they are doing quite a bit of damage. It looks like they may be able to drop Enigmas in the jungle. That's Udyr going down. Corki falls finally to Shyvana. That's going to be some nice money, and they are going to be able to drop Hammer. So not exactly going in their favor right now. They did lose Corki. It's not somebody they wanted to go down. He does not have any stack items, so he will still be doing the same amount of damage. Cutie-Pie not really building the Bloodthirster. And Voidboy getting hit by the last Foxfire. Will they be able to find Locust as well? So, okay, maybe it didn't go in their favor so much in the end.
That was pretty harsh. They got a lot of kills in a row there. They got 3 straight. And they only really lost 1 in that exchange. I mean, Mordekaiser got the kill on what was the earlier kill? The Sona kill a while ago for free. Sorry, no, I take that back. 3-2, I guess the score was on that. But, you know, still, it's the kind of fight that you want to take. You bridge that gap in gold a little bit. They were 10K down after the Dragon. They're back to 9, so they're bridging that gap. And, you know, they do have the ability to make this work for them. They have a lot more crowd control than Dignitas does. Again, they do have some decent CC with They got the Maokai, they got Janna, they got Lee Sin, but they don't have like a good ranged like stun like you have from the Sona ult, like you have from Ahri's charm. So, you know, I think Millenium has the way to just sort of pick up kills out of nowhere and kind of turn those around. So we're going to see if they can do that. Huckline is getting a nice amount of gold for himself now, up to 4 kills. Could be a scary guy for sure.
Indeed, indeed. As they move through the jungle, looks like they're just going to clear up their resources here. Bottom is getting pushed pretty hard. Graves wants to come up and farm that again. There's a lot of focus around the map right now towards the top. They could be contesting Baron at some point soon, but it looks like Dignitas is actually fully going into their jungle. They don't want...
Well, they spotted 2 on the right-hand side. I mean, they could force a 5v3 at Baron, and they are going to do that. That's a really, really smart choice. Again, you can see they saw Graves and Sona over on the right-hand side of the map. Not a lot of vision on either side. This is going to be pretty difficult for them to get through on this. They put down some sapling presence and some wards, and Dignitas...
Pretty good damage.
Looks like they're not going to get a stolen this time, so Dignitas might actually get a proper Baron this time around, not pulling a Fnatic, and this could very much be theirs, and yes, it will. 3255 that's going to respawn. Let's see if they can make anything more out of this. 1,400, no, not 1,400, sorry. 10,400 gold, the lead for them. We're going to see if they can make this any bigger. There's a turret kill as well.
Oh, going in, Corky's up. Graves is going to get hit up pretty hard here. Wow, critical damage especially coming off onto Graves. Chunks his health down, and he will focus to the right now, going after Shyvana rather, and it looks like Enigmas may go down, and he does. They are going to be able to take down this tower as well. Very nice job there. Graves actually getting back into it a little bit, was taking some fire on some minions, able to get some health back, but not enough. They're going to be able to poke this down and possibly get to this turret. They do have a big minion wave. If Ahri cannot get a nice Q off here and clear this out, maybe with a Graves Q. No, they're not even going to worry about the minion wave. They're letting the turret go down. It's kind of a smart move. They don't want to lose too many people, especially this far into their base and with that minion wave. So they're going to play this one safe, lose the inhibitor, and actually their jungle. So that was a very big push there off of that Baron. No, team has actually maybe thrown up the surrender, but they're saying, no way, that was just a Baron. We still got to do a 5-on-5 fight.
Yep, absolutely. So, you know, 4v5 Baron, yeah, that's going to hurt you a little bit. The blue still coming in as well. We're going to see if that goes to Dominate or even to Mordekaiser. That will go to Mordekaiser, actually, just for the cooldown reduction. Will not have any mana regen needs there. But, hey, you know, getting E's, Q's, W's, R's, you know, all those spells out more often. Can't exactly hate on that. And they're just going to continue to pressure up at top, but this could be a little bit scary. They do know the team is coming. They're going to try to run away, but Kuja, and there comes Udyr. There's the Shirelias. Now, can they pick up any of these kills? Lee Sin going to land a slow, but that's about it. Oh, cute move there. Stone ult goes off. They catch Boy Boy. Cutie Pie's been charmed. Whoa. Oh my gosh, the damage of it from Corky picks that one up. Now, will he die to Ignite? No, he's actually going to survive that one.
Soon.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, amazing fight there. There's a Janna to throw the shield on him and disperse the fight. Very nice job there. Haydon getting a little overzealous there, trying to go for their Corky. He thought his team would have taken down Lee Sin a little bit faster. He had the right idea, but he went in just a little too quick.
Yep, let's see what they're going to go for. They're actually still kind of pushing around here, tossing the crowd controls. But oh no, they're alone. They just jumped into a 2v4. So we're going to see if they can keep themselves alive. Dominate throwing out those Qs. Locust has to pop his ult to keep them alive. That's a little bit scary there. See, Mordekaiser, though, the entire time was just chain pushing bot lane. So I guess that was on purpose to hold them there so Mordekaiser could push.
Yeah, great job by Skara focusing on that bottom lane, doing what he can. Top
no one's
is kind of pushing
him.
in. But
no one's actually stopping him. They're letting the inhib fall despite the fact that they were there for a while.
He's going to stay.
He's going to pick it up. That might have just been a bait to pick up enough time. Nope. I mean, I thought maybe they were going to like wait till it was like 10% inhib and then bait the inhib and go for a kill.
Right, yeah.
But that was not the case. They just kind of let it fall. So this is all the outer turrets. 2 inhibs down. There's only 3 turrets even left on the map for Millenium. This is a little bit scary. Yeah,
Dignitas doing a very good job of controlling the map overall. You can see their warding positions. They have a great vision on the blue just to the right, and not even like Millenium is going to come out that far right now because they really only go for their wolves or wraiths, trying to get a little bit of an experience. But also something they have to be mindful of is they're getting pushed minions right now. They are just farming up waves, and this turns into late game soon. They don't have too much DPS, but right now with Udyr, Enigma's getting so tanky, and Haydale so tanky, they're going to be able to stay in the fight for a long time. So if they can get Hammer nice and farmed up, they could definitely turn this one around with 1 or 2 Barons.
Yep, absolutely the case. But right now, I think their main carry is going to be Ahri. You look at the tanky men. from the Dignitas side. You've got a Glacial Shroud on Maokai, plus the Aegis. You've got Voivo, who's got not only the Atmos armor, but also Randuin's Omen. So it's going to be magic damage to make this happen for them. And when you've got Burnout, which does magic from Shyvana, and you've got a fairly farmed Ahri, you do have the chance of making that happen. It's also Phoenix Udyr. So I think, Hammer just needs to kind of just stop feeding almost. He's actually stacking BF swords, not even getting like a Last Whisper or anything, so we're going to see how that pans out. But here comes the pressure in. Actually going to jump onto this Voiboy up in the middle as well. Hawkton going to fall immediately. That's going to be 1 kill picked up. Haydol chasing down on a Cutie Pie. Cutie Pie not quite dying. Scar picks that one up. That's 3 kills now picked. And now they're going to try to be running away. And there goes Maokai across the map. Does land the knock-up in slow, and there comes the rest of the pressure, and Hammer's going to fall. Udyr, the last one. They will not deal enough damage, but hey, picking up 5 kills, and now the 3rd inhibitor. Looks like Dignitas is going to go up to 3-1 in the group so far, and they're going to still have to fight against Authority in their last match of the day. We've still got, of course, multiple more matches coming up to you today, guys. Do not go anywhere. We got more going on. We still don't know who's going through the groups, so you'll be missing out on a whole lot of action if you go. But oh man, you can see, looks like Dignitas getting up out of their chairs. You can see Millenium there as well, and that was just an exceptionally good game by Dignitas overall.
Yeah, especially on that last fight when you're Millenium, the other team had Baron or just had Baron, and they were coming at you. They're quite strong. That was the fight you wanted, under your turret. That's the one you want. And then they walked right out of their base. Mordekaiser picks up 2. They don't have any of that, the turret damage anymore. Yeah. And they really cleaned that one up quite quickly. Although they could have gone through any part of the base, it was very, like you said, very good game by Dignitas. They had an uncontested Baron, a few uncontested dragons, or 1 dragon they actually took into a few more kills as well. So good control of the map and warding as well. So glad to see. Millenium has said they're kind of a new team. Their jungler no more than 6 days on the team. So it's really hard to come and strategize with that together and be a cohesive team, especially in times where you're losing the Baron, you're losing dragons, and you're getting outwarded as well. It kind of plays on the mentality quite a bit.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The overall team coordination was so good on Dignitas. They've been playing together. Again, that one new, the pickup, I Will Dominate. Now their second landing's played with them so far, and it's going well for them. They've been picking up a lot of good pressure from him. He's been ganking quite well. He's been building, strong and getting a lot of good pressure on. But one of the main reasons this game went this well for Dignitas was that bottom lane. Throughout the first 15 minutes, it was incredibly close, back and forth. Yeah. Graves was actually winning for the first part of that game for sure.
They had the turret down to 275 health in like 9 minutes.
Yeah, they had the turret down low. They forced Corki to recall and chug all 3 health potions by like level 3. He was dominating. He was up 97 to 94 minions, and then suddenly you fast forward like 10 minutes, and it's 230 on Corki to like 145 on Graves, and you're like, wow, you got 50 minions against 150 somehow. Yeah. That's harsh, right? The guy went ultimately 0-6 in that game, and that's harsh. That's harsh. You can't have that happen. And that was basically the mid to late game presence of that lane. The Corki, Janna, Cutie Pie, and Locust, they did a phenomenal job of just pushing through on that one where, maybe the lane was a disadvantage because Graves Sona is really good pressure. I don't know exactly what it was, but eventually it was like, hey, Ignite's going to beat your summoner heal. We have an exhaust. We have just more CC, more burst than you. And they carried it through. And that was just huge for them.
Yeah, it worked out really well. And as we said before, they, what they were buying was just vision. Yeah. They had tons of vision. So maybe it would have helped if they didn't, because Sona, that's what helped them, because Sona was pushing in the bush, as I said. And it's like Sona's pushing in the bush. He's doing a great job. That was Kuja doing damage. As you said, they were taking out Corki, and then they threw the ward in that bush. Yeah. And kept pushing the lane back. So all of that, and just together, they were able, like you said, in that next 10 minutes, was just able to snowball that bottom lane and come out very strong. And I believe we're going to hear that straight from the players, as we do have an interview with them on stage right now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Skara, and, well, no Kuja, I'm afraid. Well, you can't blame the guy at 0-4, but, I mean, it seemed fairly one-sided from what I watched of it. I mean, how did it go from your side?
We kind of knew aside from the Shyvana pick, we pretty much expected to do well in every lane. I wasn't sure how Shyvana would go top. And Void started zoning him at level 4, so I knew that we were doing really well. Our bot lane really came through and did extremely well. And since their AD carry was so far behind, that's really what just helped us get every objective. It was pretty, I guess, I don't want to say too one-sided, but it was pretty one-sided, I guess.
Yeah, and obviously where we immediately tried to find out what the other results were. I believe Fnatic are still playing, so we're getting to a situation where we may have a 4-way tie. So obviously you guys are 3-1-0 now. CLG are 2-1-0. Fnatic are playing alternate, so gonna go out on a limb and say 3-1-0 maybe. Obviously you're gonna be watching CLG AAA pretty closely next.
Actually, I think all my team is off to get food because we haven't had a break yet, and we're all like starving, like need to get water and stuff. Like, we definitely really need this break right now. So I'm not quite sure. We should still be watching the games though. We're kind of hoping for CLG to pull through with their win. So we'll definitely be watching closely because they're the next big game being cast.
And while we got a chance, since you're on your own, I'll ask you, I mean, how's the streaming been going? You've obviously been on your own. You're #1 in North America right now. You've been getting some pretty awesome feedback about, obviously, you basically guide people through when you're actually playing.
Wait, it's about my streaming?
Yeah.
Well, I just started streaming in the month of February. It worked out pretty well for me. It seems like some people do like it. And the large part of that is because I talk so much that it's pretty much like a one-man cast. It's like I'm analyzing a replay while still playing the game. It's actually pretty hard for me to be able to do, and it does help me because I'm able to make calls in like these kind of games that I wouldn't have been able to make before because I can do multiple things at once now with the help of my streaming. So that's really nice. I hope to stream a lot when I get back, and you should probably be able to find me on Twitch.
Nice advertisement towards the end there, but ever thought of maybe, moving into commentating later on when you're perhaps, thinking of retiring, going the Jat route?
Not currently right now. Like, it's focused on one tournament at a time. We want to do really well this tournament, and even like IPL is out of my mind. Just 100% focused on this tournament right now.
And looking towards tomorrow, maybe anyone in particular that you think, tomorrow's group, bearing in mind there's TSMs, Moscow 5, SK, there's so many. In fact, the whole group is actually very good. Anyone in particular that you're thinking, okay, we really want to avoid them? Bearing in mind, looking at a 3-way tie, so it could be a second or a third place.
I'm not quite sure. I think we want to stay away from M5 and TSM if possible, because I think they're the strongest people in that group. But we're pretty comfortable being able to play against them, so all I can think about are those two power picks right now. Curse, I've heard their top lane actually caught a late flight. Yeah, he missed the plane, so he actually won't be here tomorrow. So that'd be really, I hope they advance. I really hope they advance. I like all the Curse people. E-Home's player broke his wrist, or he's coming with an injured wrist to play, and I'm just like, I hope that they can pull through as well, because I like E-Home as well. I'm unsure about whether or not SK will do well, and I'm unsure whether or not Cypher will do well as well. Like, their online performance, their offline performance kind of, especially for Cypher, very, very weird for me to be able to evaluate correctly. So we'll just see who brings their A game in tomorrow.
Okay, well, I mean, anything you'd like to say? Obviously, you want to run off and grab food. Anything you would like to say? I know your sponsors are here, etc. But any of your fans, obviously, you get a lot of fans watching your streams. So anything you'd like to say, those guys?
Just thanks for watching. Like, I understand that a lot of times we are not the most innovative team, but I definitely think we're one of the most fun to watch because we use a lot of interesting things in our game. That's pretty much it.
Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. Obviously, coming up, we're going to have a bit of a break, I believe, and then the raffle coming up. And then it will be myself and Joe bringing you CLG versus Against All Authorities. So some awesome, awesome games still to come, and some pretty tense ones as well. Remember, every good game today, I've cast.
Intel Extreme Masters